Turkey.
Turkey?
Who likes turkey?
I like turkey.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Well, have I got news for you.
What's that?
I am a turkey. I am a turkey. I can see you're quite surprised.
Man, I can't believe my eyes. Where'd you come from anyway?
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Wow.
We're back with the Dr. Friday Show, and this is one of my favorite parts of the whole show. We're cooking by the numbers. That's right, cooking by the numbers. Today we've been talking a lot about how the new tax code is going to affect you and I, especially the entrepreneurs. So first, let's talk about what we're going to cook. We're cooking oyster stuffing. This is one of my favorites. We love oyster stew at the holiday time, and we also like oyster stuffing. So let's run through really quick what you're gonna need. You need 3 loaves of French bread that's already been chopped up, cubed, and toasted in the oven. Then you need a bunch of celery, several bunches, you're gonna make several cups of it, depending on how large your turkey is, okay? You're gonna have 2, 1 sweet onion, 1 yellow, 1 white. That way you get nice flavor going on there. Some butter. Also going to need some fresh thyme, and you're going to need 7 pieces of garlic, 7 chunks of garlic, oysters, as well as already started, but some really spicy sausage, because that's going to add a lot of flair to the entire situation. So all of that's on the screen. You guys can follow through now with what we're going to do. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is get your pan started, and we're going to go ahead and go over here and start melting some butter. And while we're waiting for that to melt up, we've got to do some dicing. And you know how I love to dice. All right, so we're going to cut up some onions. And you guys know how much I love cutting up onions. And you know, onions have always, they kind of make me cry like the tax code does when we don't have any idea what's happening in the tax code. And 2012 is scary, guys. We have no idea what we're going to actually have happening. So I am trying to tell every single one of my tax people what's the best thing to do. Have more than one plan, kind of like how I have more than one type of onion. They all taste a little different, don't they? There's a little difference in the way onions taste depending on if they're sweet or if they're not sweet or whatever. So that being said, you want to make sure the same thing when you're planning for your taxes, okay? I want you to go ahead and make sure that when you're getting ready to sit down now, right now is the time to sit down to do your tax planning. Not some other time, not sometime after the first of the year when you're calling me and saying, Dr. Friday, I really want to talk to you about my 2012 and we're in 2013. I don't think so. Not going to really do a whole bunch for you. What I want you to do is start thinking about all the different things, because one of the things that's going to happen for many of you, and this is including you, I, employed, unemployed, doesn't make a difference. You're going to have a big tax change when it comes to changing of the self-employment tax. All of us, especially sole proprietors, partners, all of them are going to actually, because we pay both sides of our self-employment. So we pay 13.3% in 2012. You guys all know what's happening, right? What's going to happen in 2013? If you're sitting there scratching your head, I'm worried. Because what's going to happen in 2013 is it's going to go back up to 15.3. 15, that's 2%. You're saying, what's 2%, right? Who cares about 2%? I'll tell you, who cares about 2%? I do. I don't want to pay $1 more in taxes than I have to. And the only way for me not to do that is called tax planning. But when you're doing, and this is employees too, you're sitting there going, Dr. Friday's only talking to all those people that are self-employed, right? Wrong. I am talking to you, me, and everybody else, because every one of us that are employees, if you're working for somebody else, whatever, you're going to actually be paying self-employment tax. It's that simple. We all have it. You might think of it as Social Security. Self-employment tax, Social Security, Medicare, same thing. Doesn't make a difference how you look at it. It's going to be the same exact situation. You know, I always love how I can compare money and tax issues with cooking, because 2 things we have to do in life as far as I'm concerned, we have to eat and we have to pay taxes. There's no way around it. If we can figure out how to do it and have some fun doing it, then that's what my suggestion is going to be to you. And meanwhile, I've already cooked up the sausages, and now we're going to throw in, and these have been already marinating in just chicken stock. You can use chicken stock or turkey stock, whichever way you want. That being said, what we want to make sure is if it soaks in the stock, it kind of takes away some of that fishy flavor. And you don't want, this is not about being fishy. You're saying, oh, oyster stuffing, that's going to be really strong. No, really it's not. With the spiciness of the sausage and the marinating it in the stock, I have always found this to be actually an excellent meal. And I'll tell you, the only way I usually like oysters, oyster Rockefeller. Maybe I'll make that one day on the show. I make that all the time. Oyster Rockefeller is one of my favorite meals. And meanwhile, we'll have all that cooking away here. Okay, so back to taxes while we're waiting for all that to marinate and to kind of do its special thing. What we're going to want to make sure when you're dealing with your taxes, 2012 is a scary year, but for some of you, it might be making 2 plans. Okay, so plan 1 might be, especially for the self-employed or individuals, deferring income into 2013. That's a pretty standard plan. A lot of us have done a lot of that. But also, maybe what you're going to want to do is in 2013 defer deductions. You're saying, why would I want to pay more money? Because taxes are lower in 2012 than they're in 2013. If they're lower, we don't want to pay as much tax. And again, in 2013, all of us are immediately going to pay 2% more in Social Security and Medicare tax. That's already going to kick us into a higher bracket. So you've got to make sure when you're sitting and talking, it's a lot like cooking. What you don't want to do, I mean, come on, we were all taught from our grandparents or whoever taught you to cook. Anyone that's taught you never leave a saucepan unattended, right? Because what happens? You burn up the pan or you burn up the food. Well, I'm going to tell you the same thing goes with taxes. You don't want to leave your taxes till the last minute because then it's too hard to make the proper things, to do all the things you really, really want to do. All right, so once all of this has actually goldened up and marinated, and since we're on a time limit on the Dr. Friday show and we don't have 20 or 30 minutes to do some wonderful cooking, we're going to actually show you the bottom line here. So once all this is done what it's supposed to do, you're going to mix all of this up right into a big pan. Oh, excuse me, a bowl, not a pan. And try not to be quite as messy as Dr. Friday because that just leaves more to clean up later. And then you're just going to mix it. Oh, you guys, if my camera could have some senses so you could actually smell this. All right. We're going to go the old-fashioned way and get dirty here. All right, so you want to mix this up really, really well, okay? And I'm the type of person that likes things chunky. It's like having big tax deductions. I like to have big pieces of sausage and things in my stuffing. I like it to be. All right, so when we're done, you're just going to take handfuls of this and put it right into the bed, right? You're going to throw it in the bed. You're going to enjoy this. Look at this. Look how good it is. I don't know if the camera can see how delicious this smells. I can't see how delicious it smells, but you can certainly see how beautiful. I mean, it's got a lot of wonderful color in it. You just keep putting as much as you can. And of course, I got a fairly small bud here, but remember when you're doing this, you're going to cut it in there. All right, so this has been The Cooking Show, and if you want to know more about cooking by numbers, go to my website, www.drfriday.com. Thank you for watching the Dr. Friday Show. I want to tell all of you what a wonderful season this has been for us. Thanksgiving in my house has always been a big time for just remembering all the good things that have happened in our lives and the things that's happened around us. I hope that all of you will take the time to just remember some of the wonderful things that have happened and also just give thanks for the things that you have, because sometimes we get wound up in all of the hoopla and all the things going on in life, and we kind of think about all the things we don't have and what we really want, and what we really need to remember at this time of the year is all the things that we have been gifted with and all the things that we have been lucky enough to have. So I wish all of you a very, very happy Thanksgiving, and hopefully all of you will also take the time to spend a little time giving thanks for the things you have. Remember, if you want to reach me, all you have to do is pick up the phone. Call me at 615-367-0819.